What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Crazy Cool 100, aka that boy Cool. And today, I'll make this a little more serious vid. I've been giving a lot of self-help, self-advice, self-improvement, but it's gonna be more like a self-help video because I feel like I know a lot of people that's been dealing with stuff. But this topic, I'm gonna focus on grief because that's something I really feel like I done dealt with a lot at a young age, at my young age of 23. I'm gonna give you a little backstory on the grief that I've dealt with in the past 2 years. I'll just be playing in the background of GTA. But back in what was that? 2 years ago, back in January 2021, my mom had a stroke. Probably like maybe 2 days or 3 days after her birthday, and it's been rough dealing with that. Between me, it's not stuff ain't been the same ever since that day. And it's damn near, I wouldn't say I lost my mom, but I lost a part of my mom that day. And my mom was how mom, you connect with your mom, but me and my mom had like a real deep connection. You know what I'm saying? We worked together, cook for her all the time. That was my dog, man. I'm probably just throwing a regular outfit right here real quick. Doing a little suit or some shit. Yeah, a little white suit. But yeah, and then I probably took like, grief for everybody is different, man. Cause I feel like that's the number one tip you should know going into grief. It's different for everybody. It's no right way to approach your grief, really. For some people, the pain go away for in weeks, and some people it lasts for months. So don't ever let nobody compare their grief to yours, even if they connect to the person. You feel a deep pain when you lose someone or lose a part of them. And it took me like maybe, I'd say 10, 11 months to finally just stop grieving and stop being depressed. Cause it was just so hard. Like it'd just be constantly in your back of your mind. Like it's like your whole world get flipped upside down. Like it could show like a whole wide range of emotions you would feel on a daily. Like whether it's just anger, shock, sadness, even guilty sometimes. You just be like, damn, I wish we could have did more. Even though like I know I did the most I could with my mom. And then I'd say it took 10, 11 months for me to move on. And then this next January of last year, 2022, my grandma passed away. She had a stroke and then a heart attack and some stuff, so she didn't make it. And that was even harder. That was even harder than dealing with my mom, honestly, because I've been around my grandma like often. Like I used to go up there to the islands often in the summer and go see her and go spend time with her. Go to karate camp, basketball camp out in the Virgin Islands. So yeah, it take a long time. Like I'll say I kind of finally stopped grieving about that maybe October, November. It usually take me, I'm seeing it take me like 10, 11 months to fully come out of grief. But it's always going to be like a little hole in your heart. You got to remember that. You know what I'm saying? And that grief is really just love, love, unleft love that you didn't get to, give to that person. Even if they went too soon or you spent that much time, you still going to feel grief. That's one thing I've been realizing. So that's a little backstory, but I feel like I kind of started tip one into that backstory, which is knowing that everyone's grief is different. You just gotta keep your composure, man. I understand that. But tip number two, I would say going into grief, that's something that helped me a lot, was I would stay. I started getting more in contact with people I'm close with, whether it be friends or family. I mean, I would say you go to family first, and especially if you had a connection with that person. I mean, you try to talk about that, but you try to connect with that and put your emotions into words, because it could be hard to put your emotions into words when you're grieving. It could be real difficult. But once you get off the hurdle and talking to someone that you trust, it's gonna be helpful. You know, I would say my friends really came through, and like they didn't even. Well, I know some know, but some don't even know. Like they pulled me out of a dark place because I felt so alone, depressed. Like that shit can be very sad grief. Yeah, I feel like tip two and tip three are coincide, which is tip three is seek support. You know, talking to your friends can be helpful, but they won't really like they can't really offer guidance or words of wisdom if they really don't never went through that, or they don't know anybody that has went through that. So it is support groups like for grief. I feel like me, I don't really need to go to a support group because I know I have like a circle I can trust real good, and I go to the gym, which is like wonders for my mental health, honestly. But you gotta seek out support, man. People be scared to talk about mental health. I ain't never been that type of person to talk about that shit. It's important. It's just important as your physical health. Don't take it for granted, for sure. But you gotta seek out support, and tell them before you gotta understand the stages of grief. It's different stages of grief that you'll go through while you're going through the shit. It could be real complicated. Like most people go through the 5 distinct stages of grief, which is denial. That's the first one. The second one is anger. The third one is bargaining, and then the fourth one is depression, and then the last stage of grief is the acceptance. It's like built-in strategies that help us cope with grief. It's something your brain just does automatically. If you understand the stages, you can recognize that you're moving forward no matter how slow it's going. No matter how slow it's going, because you see these some people, deep connection like that could be your sister, somebody brother, somebody mother. But for me, that's a deep connection. You know what I'm saying? That's my mother. That's who raised me, brought me into the world. It's my grandmother who helped raise me, brought my mom into the world. So deep connection. So I don't compare my grief to nobody that's in my family, because we all got different life experiences with them. Let me go pick up some money from upstairs before I go to the casino. I go gamble. Yeah, man. I feel like I don't really go through the denial stage too long. I don't really be on denial when it come to. Well, my mom, I kind of went through a little bit of denial. Like, okay, maybe she gonna come back, but I think I had denial and thinking like, oh, she gonna be the same. It's gonna be all right. And then after I got through that, I was very angry at life and God. I was like, damn, why would he do this to me? And I just wouldn't really do much in the bargaining stage. It's more the depression stage that I was deep in. Like, I would have to force myself to just do stuff and think positive, because like my mind be racing. So if I'm thinking negative, I'm gonna be thinking like 100 negative thoughts in just like a couple of minutes. So you can't let that stuff phase you. And I feel like the last tip, which is probably one of the most important tips, I like sometimes I say the best for last. You gotta take care of yourself, man. You gotta take care of yourself. Looking after yourself is more important looking after yourself is important in general, but especially when you dealing with grief and loss, you gotta take care of yourself, love yourself. It could feel I ain't gonna lie, it could feel impossible while you're grieving at times. Having a routine and a schedule is what really helped me get through the pain. Being physically active, that's what helped me get through the pain too. That really would really motivate me to even get up out the bed, because some days you just be like, damn, I just want to lay here and die in the bed. Eat healthy, that's a number one thing too you gotta do to take care of yourself when it comes to grieving. I ain't gonna lie, this is a big one that I tried to avoid, but I needed a little bit. Like, I needed some alcohol, I needed some drugs. Not a lot, like to where I fall obsessed with it, but I'd say I don't like to use that word need, but like I didn't need it, but I wanted to, because like sometimes you just want to feel numb. You don't want to feel that pain. Everybody cope different. So people got vices and people got copes. Some are positive, some are negative, but you just gotta let that person grieve, man. A lot of people don't know how to let people grieve. I say some extra shit would be to just come off social media for a while, come off the internet in general, and really focus on what's in front of you, like nature itself and what's going on in your life. It's like call it like, but that's 5 tips right there. How to deal with grief and depression and how I dealt with it, and hopefully it just can help somebody that's going through grief or even like depression, because a lot of these tips can correlate with helping you fix your depression and mental health. But yeah, I feel like I had to get this video out because I've been meeting a lot of people. Like, I usually don't, like, people I know, they don't, some people go through grief, but I have met a lot of people now that have went through grief recently. And I ain't gonna lie, it kind of felt kind of good to just talk about my grief with somebody else that always knew what I was feeling, and we could motivate and inspire each other. One of the best feelings I felt when it come to coming out of grief and trying to come out of the depression. But that's it for this video, man. Hope y'all enjoyed. It may not be your thing. I got other things you can watch to help improve or entertain you. Take a look at the channel, like, subscribe. Give y'all a little spin in the wheel and see what I got before I close it out. Yeah, stay strong, man. Keep your faith up. I know everybody ain't religious, but for the people who is religious, don't give up on God. Don't think He forsaking you, because I know I done went through that for a long time. I just felt like I was just pointless. Even with my goals and purpose, I felt like it was pointless. So you got to keep your head up, because the devil gonna try to get in your head and poison your brain. And then sometimes grief could change a lot of people that was connected to the person and affected. So find your ways to deal with it. I hope these 5 tips can help you. I'm out.